7 Tips to Getting More of Your Website Visitors to Contact You. Over the years, many a time I've had business owners come over to me wondering how their website is getting hits, but visitors are just not contacting or doing business with them. The first question I always ask is, do you have your phone number on the top of each page? You'd be amazed at how many have said they don't. So I thought I'd give some tips on what you should be thinking about when working on your website, simple tips that for some reason many business owners don't even think about, and these small things can make a difference of thousands of pounds to your business. No. 1. Make sure to be customer or client focused when you're thinking about what to write on your website. It's important to remember who's supposed to be reading it and to remember what your objective is for them. So, in the same way, you may have a process to convince a prospect to take on your services in person. You have to have a process on your website. People visiting your website will have the same concerns as the people you meet in your office. Your thought process should be starting with, who is my ideal customer? Then, where are they up to in terms of the buying process? How interested are they at the moment? Are they just browsing, or do they already have an interest in you or your services? As an example, someone types accountants in Manchester in Google and will generally click the 5 top results. People do this all day. Your website is number 4. The visitor has no idea who you are or how big you are. The objective for you is to make sure your website will appeal to them more than the other 4. The design is not the issue, although it can play a big part. It is more important that it speaks to their concerns, making them believe that they will be better off coming to you and that you will provide the perfect solution to their requirements. Your visitor already knows what they need and are actively looking for it. Your job is to show them that you understand that and can provide the solution. No. 2. And this is really a part of number 1. Speed. You have 5 seconds to impress me. Starting from now, that's about how long people will spend on your site looking for what they need. You have to grab their attention in that time and convince them to stay longer. Try a big banner showing your main offerings or with your special offers. Try a strong headline. Think of what will be the most interesting to your ideal client and get it noticeable straight away. Another aspect of this tip is the next part of your client's thought process as before. How does your ideal client buy? Is your product or service a quick sale? Or will they need to speak to you? Will they need to meet you? Take the example of an accountant again. Your ideal client might be a smaller business. This client wants to have a good relationship with their accountant. You are someone who will be looking after their finances and could make them save lots of money. They are going to have to like you and trust you. So once you've got them on the website with a catchy headline that will speak to them about their requirements, it's now time to get up close and personal. Make it easy for your visitor to navigate your site to find out more about you and how you can help them. The third part of this tip is the question of what stops your clients buying. What are their first concerns? It's now time to allay fears. What will they be scared of? With the accountant, their first concern might be, how do I know that you actually know what you're doing? This question should be taken care of very quickly and prominently. Show your credentials, which groups you belong to, show your experience. This should be on the homepage if possible. Or your client might be asking, how much do you charge? So a big homepage banner of only X a year would take care of that. These examples all depend on your business strategy. Your website should be reflecting your offline business strategy. Work through the thought process of your customer. Find the most frequent questions your clients ask you and then attempt to answer it as quickly as possible and in the best way possible. Remember, you have the disadvantage of not being face-to-face, so there might be a need to be slightly more forceful or dramatic. No. 3. What do you want your visitors to do? As with every business owner, you would love every visitor to your site to call you up straight away and beg to use your services or buy your products. In reality, that obviously doesn't happen. Very few people take the bait after seeing your website for the first time. However amazing your offer, the next best thing then is to get a mildly interested client to submit their contact details to you. This way, you have the chance to keep in touch, turn on the charm, and be the one shouting the loudest when they're ready to buy. Be nice about it, okay? So if you want contact, you've got to encourage it. As I wrote earlier, it's really important to have your phone number conspicuously displayed on your website. I was once reviewing the website of a business coach and she didn't have her phone number anywhere on the website. I asked her how many calls she gets from her website a month. I imagine you know the answer. So, it's really important to make your contact details readily available. Some like to have it on every page, top right corner, which is really helpful so when your visitor sees something interesting or has a question they can straightaway pick up the phone without losing patience looking for your contacts page. I know it's sad that people don't have patience anymore these days, but if these are the people you're selling to, there's a need to adapt. Number 4. Credibility. In today's world, people don't believe marketing hype as much as they used to because we are being subjected to some form of marketing almost every second of our lives, and many of us have learned, the hard way, to be more careful when making decisions. So it's important to show your credibility, to show that you're the real deal. What will add to your credibility? Obviously, not all sectors will be suited for these ideas, so again, it's important to think of your image and your ideal customer. Case studies show what type of work you undertake and your processes. Testimonials show off how amazing your work is and how happy your clients are with you. Blogs show your expertise by writing about interesting things people want or need to know about your sector. A real-world presence, pictures of you, your staff, even your office building together with a small bio about each of you. This helps people to identify with you and your staff. Number 5. Refreshing content. Refreshing content is really important in getting your site ranked higher in search engines. This does not necessarily mean to change the wording of your site every 3 months, because as long as there's no reason to change, don't. I'm referring more to blogging and feeds that will be interesting to people who are viewing your site or that will initially bring people to your site. There are 3 big benefits for refreshing content. 1. Credibility, and as before, it shows you know what you're doing. Point 2, say, someone has a concern, searches for it and they find your blog, answering their question, making perfect sense and really helping them. You've become the professional in their eyes. Mission accomplished. Job done. When they want to spend money, you're likely to be first in the queue. Point 3, it makes people stay on your website for longer, it makes them come back for more and share what they learn. These are all really important for your rankings, because you end up getting more links, more views, thus making the search engines take more notice of you. No. 6. Strategic selling. Strategic selling is where we're targeting a visitor who may need your product or service in the future, but is not necessarily interested in it now. The visitor has stumbled onto your website and is not interested in your product now, but they may be interested in the future. How are you going to make sure you have a chance of them considering you when they do become interested? Do you remember every website you went on when searching for something even as recently as this morning? I don't, and I doubt you do. You'll have seen that website for maximum a minute. You definitely won't remember anything of it by tomorrow. A good way to establish a connection is to offer something valuable. Give your visitors a push to make contact with you. Call now for a free consultation is sometimes used, or sign up to get top tips from our experts. Also follow us for your chance to win, like us for your chance to win. Try to make it an interesting offer and not to have the already boring sign up to our newsletter line. And remember to understand your client. It may be that a free consultation might be a turn-off if they aren't too interested yet. Generally, an interesting newsletter or email with tips and tricks are well received. Obviously, it's easier if you're selling something that has a wide interest. If not, then it's your job to make it appealing. The benefit of this is you're keeping a constant stream of contact with potential clients and you're getting yourself and your company in front of them regularly. Remember the statistic that on average a person has had to be exposed to your brand 7 to 10 times before buying. No. 7. Your website can be your main marketing tool. Your website is your main marketing tool. This is becoming increasingly truer. People are getting online more and often when a person meets someone and considers using their product or service, they are increasingly taking a look at their websites to find out more about them. If your website doesn't cut it, it could be a big turn-off. In other words, a bad website is worse than no website at all. So it's really important to make sure your website competes in your sector and can engage with your ideal visitor properly. As a last suggestion, take a look at your competitor's website and see how well they are doing, and then compare it with your own. It can be the little things like the ones above that can make the big differences in a prospect using your services and not theirs. Any questions? I would be happy to hear from you.